Hello YouTube modelists, welcome back to my channel. I want to thank all my viewers and subscribers for tuning in. This video will be a revisit but more of a restoration of a model I built in the 1990s. Monogram 1/48 scale Flying Fortress B-17G. I still have the instructions. I have to study it because I am going to have to do some dismantling and some restoration. Here is a colorful pamphlet that they included about making dioramas. So basically what happened with this kit was I put it away for storage and I had to lay it in a very long moving box. I think it was standing up on its rear. So what that means is all the weak parts that stick out, such as machine guns, are the first to break off. This rear stabilizer I have in a bag, along with some other machine gun parts broke off, so I have to re-glue them back. There is a front machine gun that came off and fell inside. And then, of course, the seam broke open on the bottom. You see on the wing, it cracked open, so the wings, because I had to support the weight of this. So it needs a little bit of restoration. But aside from restoring and re-gluing the parts that came off, I also want to take this time to restore. So for example, I do want to clean up some of the seams. I think I may have to break open the fuselage half to get those machine gun parts and re-glue them from the inside. But more importantly, I want to document how I painted the inside, because even though I took a picture of it, we're talking about before digital cameras, so I have a photo and the negative somewhere. It's going to take a long time for me to find it, but I've always wanted to open this up. So I think I might open it up. But also there was two boo-boos I might want to try to correct now that I have an airbrush. I used Tester Silver Metallic, and then for some reason I sprayed it with dull coat instead of gloss coat. So it kind of looked like a worn silver finish. So what happened with the dull coat was it dripped. I poured a spray a little too much. So there's a drip mark I want to get rid of. It burned some of the decal off. And then this side, so that side I sprayed too much, and then this side I was running low on dull coat and it started to sputter. So this has a little bit of, if you can see it, like a little sputtering, little dots from the dull coat. So I may want to retouch that by feathering in my airbrush. But some other things I might want to touch up is the bottom ball turret. I never painted the frame silver. I may want to redo that. So things that I could do much better. But also I'm thinking about ordering some SMDs and putting in landing lights, maybe some inside lighting, and then possibly motorizing all 4 propellers. So that's where I'm at now. The reason why I'm pulling out this project is because my intruder is ready to be spray painted, but in my apartment I have these large European windows that you either open the top by tilting in slightly, or you have to open it like a door and it opens completely open. It's not the up and down windows. So in order for me to use my spray booth, I have to tilt the top inward slightly, and since it's been pretty cold, that's not going to work out. So I'm waiting for the weather to warm up. So in the meantime, I can do other restoration projects that don't require spray painting. So for this one, I might open it up, document the inside, motorize the propellers, put together the bomb cart that I never did it the first time around. Never even detail painted the ground crew. And I think there might be 2 pilots here. So what I might do is maybe take the pilots, cut them, repose them, and stick them in the seat. So I might want to do that. So that's where I am at now. Still have some decals left over. So hopefully the restoration will go well. Alright, so using a modeling knife, I was able to stick it in the seam and cut it and kind of pry it open. I was able to remove the wings. Thankfully, I still had the instructions because I had difficulty removing the wings, and then I realized the wings go in and then they slide forward. So if I didn't know that, I would be trying to break it open and crack something. So always a good thing to keep the instructions. So thankfully I had the instructions. The wings are off. The fuselage halves are open. So let's take a look and see what it looks like. Obviously the little things like the machine guns came off. I removed the tail machine gun, which acted like a cap on the end, and the nose glass, or the front plexiglass, because it acts like a cap. So I split it apart, and it was good to see this because I haven't seen it for so long. So here's the port side, or the pilot side. Has a few panels, machine guns. Forgot what it looked like. Wooden boxes. So let me set that aside. But for the most part, everything gets glued to the starboard, or the co-pilot side. So if you guys remember, Monogram actually made this B-17G in something called the Invisible B-17G. Basically, it came with everything that this kit had, but it gave you the option of the left side, or the pilot side, clear plastic, similar to like canopy. Clear plastic, so you can choose either to seal it or to put the clear plastic so you can see it. So let's do a quick slow review of what it looks like, starting from the front. So you have the was it the Norton sights, the bomb sight, the bombardier seat, the wooden table or wooden chest, machine gun, what looks to be either the engineer, I think the engineer sits there, fire extinguisher. There is no hole for them to go up through the pilots, but here is the pilot seat, revolving. I guess they stand on that stand. Depression. Depression and elevation. Pilot and co-pilot seat. All the dials. Fire extinguisher. The bombs. This comes with sealed bomb doors, but I opened it up with a modeling knife, so you can do that too. So when this is put together, you can still see the bombs from the bottom. I guess this is the radio operator. Machine gun on the top. And of course the belly gunner, waist gunner, and the tail gunner. Tail gunner, the guns are on the cap. That's why it looks like it's just the action, but it's the barrels are extended outward. So it was nice to see this again. So I'm going to take some pictures to document this. Let me show you the other side of this control board. that's what that looks like. So I'm thinking about putting in some SMD lights, and then inside this propeller I'm going to put those coreless motors, which are very low voltage, that look like very smaller than a AAA battery, the motors. Not the big ones, because it's just way too big to fit in here. I would hate to be, I think these two positions are the worst, the tail gunner and the belly gunner, because most planes come from the back and from the bottom where they may not see them. So I think I've seen videos of like the German 20mm, they shoot the belly gunner and the whole mount just falls out. And that's a very uncomfortable position. They're like curled up like the letter C and they're shooting between their legs. And I guess they only choose the people that are short, like if you're 5'5" or less, because it's kind of hard to get in there. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to continue to see how I can upgrade this, but I just thought I'd show you guys what it looks like when I took it apart. So here's a question to my fellow military plane scale modelers or enthusiasts. What's the best way of assembling this plane but yet still have the interior accessible? Because if I glue the fuselage together, you won't be able to see the detail. Should I do cutaway like they do in museums? Like take out big chunks of the side so you can see it? Even if I open the doors, like there's a door here that I could probably pop open, and there's a door on the side here, it's still not going to be enough to see it. So how do you assemble the plane but yet still have this accessible? You can't really friction fit the halves together, but let me know what you guys think. What's the best way of displaying this? Should I just leave it open, loosely put the halves together, but then the wings are going to be, you know, a lot of weight to it? Should I do a cutaway like a museum? Let me know what you guys think.